Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and one of the greatest trilogies in boxing history has officially concluded as Katie Taylor has defeated Amanda Serrano for the third time on paper. Once again, by majority decision. One judge had it a draw. The other two had it 96-93 for Katie Taylor. Close fight. Close fight. It was obviously not the barn burner that we had in the previous two fights, where both women were nip and tuck, leather upon leather, vicious exchanges, dramatic rounds, Katie Taylor hanging on for dear life. Getting all busted up, moments where like Amanda was gonna stop her, get her out of there. This fight, we didn't see any of that. It was a close fight, but nothing crazy, nothing dramatic, not one dramatic round, not one moment where you could say you'll never forget. This fight wasn't even close to the first two previous fights. It was a dull fight. It was the least action-packed out of the three fights. And but Katie Taylor got the job done once again on paper. Yeah, Katie Taylor fought a smart fight off her back foot, took advantage of Amanda's aggression, little aggression. She wasn't as aggressive. I guess she was trying to look out for those headbutts, and she brought a different approach, man. Instead of coming to war once again, she came to box. She tried to use her jabs, her 1-2s. There was some pressure, but not as consistent, not as intense as the two previous fights. Amanda landed some shots, but they were nothing where it would get the crowd like, okay, Katie looked like she's gonna get in trouble again. She's gonna get hurt. None of the punches really put Katie Taylor in trouble like they did in the first two fights. So yeah, man. I mean, Amanda's approach was to box, try to do something different, because remember in the previous two fights, she came to war and she still couldn't get the job done based on the judges. I don't know what the judges were seeing. You know, most of you guys can agree on that the previous two fights could have gone either way. Like the first fight was a close fight, could have gone either way. I felt Amanda won. Many felt Amanda won. The second fight, Amanda clearly won, even though it was another crazy fight. This fight, me being Puerto Rican and of course going for Amanda Serrano at the Garden last night, Amanda could have gotten a draw or could have gotten not a victory. I think a draw, because it was a close fight, even though it was not action-packed. It was a close fight. On the scorecards it was, and it was a close fight because a lot of rounds, both women weren't doing much. There were rounds where Katie and Amanda were not taking anything over. You know, there were cat and mouse at times throughout the fight. It looked like at times both women were afraid to engage and get hit. And yeah, it was not. Everyone was expecting another classic, another barn burner. And the atmosphere, the place where, you know, the venue was built for it. You know, it was all set up for that. It was clearly the greatest crowd that I've ever been a part of, the most electric crowd I've ever been a part of. With a sold-out Madison Square Garden. My first time at Madison Square Garden. What an experience that was. But the fight did not live up. You know, everyone was expecting another great fight, and we did not get that. Yes, we all were part of this great trilogy, but everyone paid their money to see a hard, great fight. And Amanda tried to come in here and play safe, and you can say that about Katie Taylor too, because the Katie Taylor and also showed like she didn't want to get into another war. She was just playing it safe as well. Both women brought a more cautious approach. You know, They weren't much toe to toe like the first two previous fights. Like I said, this fight was not even close to the first two previous fights. The two previous fights were barn burners. This one here was, like I said, the least action packed and the most least entertaining of the three fights. But based on the last two fights, Amanda, the second fight she should have gotten it. The first fight could have gone either way. But because she didn't get the decisions in those two fights, Amanda was supposed to try to come in here in this third fight and rip Katie Taylor's head off. Now, and I said this personally to myself, if Amanda can't even beat Taylor on the scorecards in back-to-back wars, and now she came to box in the third fight and still couldn't get the job done, then what do you do? I guess Amanda has to go in there and take a shotgun and shoot Katie Taylor and win the fight, because brawling doesn't work and boxing doesn't work. Because in the second fight, Amanda should have gotten that one. First fight, either way. This fight, I can say for the first time as a Puerto Rican and I'm supporting Amanda. The least Amanda could have gotten, the most Amanda could have gotten was a draw. If you want to give it to someone, give it to Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor kept the distance. Anytime Amanda got close, she countered with the right hand. And a flurry here and there with her hand speed. Amanda did not apply pressure like she normally does. She didn't show any sense of urgency like the previous two fights, which made the two previous fights wars. She was able to close the gap and trap Katie Taylor along the ropes and pummel her, land uppercuts, right hooks, left hooks, and make Katie Taylor fight off with those flurries and make the crowd go crazy. But we didn't have any of that. So, because Amanda did not put the pressure, she did not came to go toe-to-toe, that allowed Katie Taylor to score one of the easier wins out of the trilogy. And it is what it is. I mean, Amanda has to live with this for the rest of her life. 3 straight losses to Katie Taylor on paper, because remember, second fight, come on, you got to give it to Amanda. You got to give it to Amanda, and in the first fight, you got to give it to Amanda, or could have gone either way. This fight, the most Amanda could have gotten was a draw. And maybe a fourth fight would have happened if it was given a draw, but like I said, if you want to give it to a winner, give it to Katie Taylor, and it did. The right winner won this fight. Amanda's going to have to live with this for the rest of her career. She is a legend. Katie Taylor is a legend. Both women are legends. They both made $14 million last night at the Garden. For the first time in women's boxing history, women left the boxing ring with $14 million apiece. I think the purse was split 50-50. And I said to myself that likely Katie Taylor, I won't be surprised that she retires after this fight. She's 39 years old. She's had some tough fights, including the Amanda Serrano fights. She's 39. She's had a long amateur career, countless gold medals, 2012 Olympic gold medal, and a grueling professional career where she has a career of razor-thin fights that she had to dig deep, including in the Amanda Serrano fights. A lot of mileage, a lot of wear and tear on her body. She looked good last night, though. She looked good, even though no war broke out. But Katie Taylor is definitely a Hall of Famer for sure. She's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So is Amanda Serrano. These are two legends that shared the ring last night in women's boxing history. You can call them the two greatest women fighters of all time. Of this generation as well. Both women sold out Madison Square Garden twice. Sold out in an all-women's boxing card. Both these women sold out Madison Square Garden twice. The big room, not the theater, the big room. Both women made history. 14 million purse, another sellout at the Garden, 3 fights. Um, all three fights had solid crowd, big crowds on hand. The last two fights were on Netflix, and that's just Madison Square Garden. The audience on Netflix. Yeah, combine that. Um, all in all, man, it was one of the greatest trilogies in boxing history. Some trilogies don't even finish well. I mean, Gotti Ward ended excellently. Their third fight was just as dramatic as the first. Not as great as the first, but dramatic as well. Antonio Tarver versus Roy Jones Jr. They had a tremendous trilogy as well. Deontay Wilder um, versus Tyson Fury. They had a tremendous trilogy as well. Uh, the third fight ended well. You know, of course, Fury won that fight by 11th round knockout. But it was a great fight. It was the best fight of their trilogy. So some trilogies, um, some end boring, some end good. Like Mike Alvarado versus Brandon Rios, the third fight for them was horrible. Mike Alvarado unfortunately went in there as a shot fighter. He was not the same, and it only went what 3 rounds. Mike Alvarado quit on his stool. So some trilogies don't end as we wanted them to, but that's what happens. And Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor, after giving us two great fights, they gave us like what do you call it? Like many call it in the social media comments, a sparring session. You know, yeah, it was not action packed, man. I mean, the crowd was there for it. Everyone was waiting to erupt. Everybody was waiting for another classic, and these women did not give us that, unfortunately. So it is what it is. You know, I got to experience Madison Square Garden for the first time ever in my life. That was an experience in itself, just to be out in the garden and just to go in and be a part of a building that's hosted so many great events, concerts, basketball game, and and obviously great legendary boxing matches like Ali Frazier, Tito Trinidad versus Ricardo Mayorga, Triple G fights, Miguel Cotto selling out the garden countless times. Cotto versus Judah. I'm there sitting down. I'm like, damn, I'm in the building where Cotto Judah took place, the most electric crowd at the garden. Ali Frazier, Salvador Sanchez versus Asuma Nelson. So many great memories in that garden, and I was a part of that great building and being part of that. You know, this big boxing event between Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. You know, that was an experience in itself that I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. But all in all, man, these two women walk away with 14 million. These two walk away with a place in the Hall of Fame one day. Katie Taylor, I said it to myself, that at 39 years old, countless gold medals, 2012 Olympic gold medals, deep amateur background, long amateur career, and a grueling pro career with a ton of razor thin fights. Um, at 39 years old, I think Katie Taylor, I said to myself that I won't be surprised that she hangs them up after this because she has nothing else to prove. And yeah, she's $14 million richer. I won't be surprised. And as for Amanda Serrano, she says she's going back down to 126 to defend her unified title. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Amanda Serrano can hang them up today, and she has nothing to be ashamed about. You know, both of these women can ride off into the sunset, and that's it. And no one will complain. But I think Amanda needs to do what she said she was going to do. Go back down to 126, defend her titles at 126, and have that retirement fight in Puerto Rico that she owes us because when she came to Puerto Rico last time to fight against Monique, the fight never happened. She never came out to fight. All she did was came out to apologize that some ink and dye got in her eyes and she can't fight. And the Puerto Rico Boxing Commission did not allow the fight to continue. So she needs to get that done before she hangs them up. You know, obviously that fight will take place at the Jose Miguel Agrelot Coliseo de Puerto Rico. Rightfully so. Amanda needs to go out on top and end her career the right way. And if Jolie Say will be the right place, of course. And I will be at that fight. And it all depends. I will only be at that fight if she has the right dance partner. I don't want just anyone in there with Amanda Serrano. I want Amanda Serrano in there. I want Amanda Serrano in there with a Alicia Baumgartner. I want Amanda Serrano in there with a Delphine Persoon. Not Katie Taylor. Both women agreed that they're not going to do it again. You know, Katie Taylor said that I don't want to fight Amanda again because she punches too hard. And Amanda Serrano is like, yeah, we're done. We're done. They did. These women did what they had to do in the past 3 fights. You know, they gave us 3 massive events, all sellouts. And yeah, they broke the barrier in women's boxing. You know, they showed that they can sell out anywhere they go and fight. Well, yeah. Amanda Serrano, ladies and gentlemen, losing to Katie Taylor for the 3rd time straight. And in the least action-packed fight, Katie Taylor deserved this win. The most Amanda could have gotten was a draw, like I said. But the first two previous fights, you know, we all could say that Amanda likely won those. Either way, 2 legends that we'll never forget in the sport of boxing. They will live on forever in the annals of boxing. And yeah, 2 legends, 2 Hall of Famers. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Hosting Cruz. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. It is always a pleasure to talk to you about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.